It's the beginning of the third week.
Yep.
So it's been 2 weeks since surgery.
Right.
So we're starting the third week. And we agreed that we were going to have some intentions for each week. And so... 3 things. So we started with this week. Our intentions are...
strength, structure, and swallowing.
Swallowing has turned out to be a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it has. It's kind of weird.
So we just got back from the gym. So that's a little bit of the structure. So we're getting back into that.
Yeah, and going to the gym means going to the gym.
It's just going to the gym.
Doesn't necessarily mean
doing anything at the
going
gym.
crazy. No, I did a little bit.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
it's
did.
you got to start. You got to start somewhere, and you're rebuilding, and you want to make sure that you're rebuilding a little every day, and not too much.
Yeah, but the structure is just putting some stuff in place. So get out of bed at the same time every day. Make sure you move into the living room. Make sure we get certain things done during the day. And one of those things is getting enough protein.
Yeah.
So, get your protein drink.
Protein drink.
Need
3 of these suckers a day.
Yeah.
90 grams of protein. It's something like 1.25 times your number of kilograms. So I'm about 75 kilograms allegedly,
Right.
according to Google.
Right. So the doctor said that was the most important thing that Tim could do for healing.
Right.
That there wasn't anything that he could do that would be more important than that. That his body needed that protein to build back that wound. So we've really been focusing on that and getting all of that protein in, which is getting easier and easier.
Well,
It's
sure.
not easy.
Well, yeah, but if you can swallow, it makes it easier. And so one of the challenges, as we talked about earlier, is you got to start with one protein and get it down and not freak out that you don't have 3 in you. You got to get what you can in you and then move on to the next and move on to the next and move on to the next. And it gets easier. One of the things that has been interesting is I've kind of stopped freaking out about things coming out of my nose.
So we have
it just happens.
Swallow roulette.
Yeah, swallow roulette. You don't know whether you're gonna, and we talked about this earlier too, but you don't know whether you're gonna snort or whether you're gonna swallow or whether you're gonna have pain or whether it's gonna go nicely or any of those things.
You're gonna choke.
Or choke. Any of those things could happen, and you just it gets a little easier when you're not as afraid of it, and a lot of that takes some grounding and that whole process of just kind of shutting yourself down just a little bit, not for a day, but for just long enough for your body to be able to handle some type of what can we call it? Discomfort or misdirection or unplanned circumstance.
Aversiveness.
Yeah, all of those things.
So I think one of the things that we were not prepared for is for something as simple as swallowing, which we take for granted, to be so challenging. Even though I think we knew that was a feature of this experience, I don't know that we knew how much we needed to prepare for how hard that was going to be.
Well, and I mean, I think one of the calling cards to this whole trip has been nothing is consistent from day to day. So, I mean, and we can talk about the VPI here in a second, but I was talking much better last week.
You were.
Than I am this week.
Yeah, so one of the risk factors, side effects of surgery is something called VPI. You get to learn all kinds of new words when you do new things, and so VPI is velopharyngeal insufficiency.
Say that 3 times.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. You can, but I'm not going to.
I can't,
So that's basically when air gets trapped between the space between your soft palate and your nose. and it makes kind of that nasal sound to the voice, and it makes it difficult to say certain sounds, like anything that is going to happen with air, so P's and B's and D's. And
Park and bench and drill.
yes,
They all sound different than they did last week.
Yeah.
As you can hear.
so I really have to look at Tim's mouth and kind of read lips to be able to understand what he's saying, because those sounds don't sound the same. What they've told us is that will improve over time, and that he may need some speech therapy to help improve that, to get used to doing that again the same way. But initially, when he came out of surgery, he really was making those sounds very well, and we thought, oh, I think this is probably going to go okay, and that has gotten worse over time. So that's something that changed kind of over the last few days, that we're seeing kind of the side effects of that VPI now. What else has changed over the last few days?
I'm able to do more things, so I have more energy, and I have to, there's not a lot of different things that I can do. I can read, I can listen to podcasts, I can watch Netflix, but whatever those things are, you can do more things, so you need to have more variety of things that you do in a day.
Right.
I think that is the most important thing to kind of keep yourself going. And I guess, I don't know if I just mentioned this, but like I'm having a little bit more trouble swallowing now, or the swallowing is easier, but I have more accidents than I used to.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just because I'm getting more aggressive, but like, especially if I'm drinking water, it will come out my nose, and that just happens.
Always have a tissue.
Always have a tissue, yeah. It used to freak me out, and now it doesn't, so.
You are eating more things, though. I think that's something that's changed. Definitely upgraded to smoothies and pudding. Those two things are new. Might venture into the world of mashed potatoes and gravy pretty soon. Pretty exciting. I think the other thing that we didn't expect, we knew we were going to come home on a liquid diet, and while that's restrictive, you think, well, there's all kinds of things that I can eat on a liquid diet. But almost everything was too acidic. Things burned, even things like apple juice were too hard.
They were fine the first couple of days, but and if we want to look at it behaviorally, I may have paired them with the acidity of the acetaminophen.
Right.
And now it's just like, I don't want to eat that. I got big bottles of stuff that I don't want to drink, because I get anything a little acidic in my mouth right now, and it's just not good. So.
Right. So those are the things that are different here as we move into the third week. Lots of things are getting easier, and we're learning about the process, which is definitely not a linear process.
No, not linear at all.
So next steps for us, we see the radiologist on Thursday, and we'll find out what the next part of the treatment journey looks like.
Sure enough.
Yeah.
All right.
Day 14.
Let's do it.
We're doing it.